Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to Late Night in Bitcoin. Today is November the 18th, 2017. At least it still is in Chicago for a minute, and of course in Denver and Los Angeles and all those other Western places in my native United States. It still is the 18th of November. Buy and hold. Golden hold. What a crazy schedule I've had these last few weeks in Israel. I have two different sleeps at night. I have to get up in the middle of the night, the middle of the morning to do one of these shows. It has been an adventure, but I like doing late night shows for you guys or early morning shows here in Israel. I always got to get the news out, share the Bitcoin information. And I look forward to coming back for Thanksgiving. I'll be back home in a few days, so we'll be back at some normal times to spread the word. Speaking of normal times, we did have on Friday, it was This Week in Bitcoin. We had some great guests on. Please check that out in the notes section below. I always link to the pertinent links that deal with these shows. Now, I cannot, and yes, and so the guests were, and we didn't end up with much of a FUD Friday, did we? The guests were Juan Galt, BTC Benny, and Crypto Medici, the great Twitter dude. And we did talk about some interesting things. Dash came up. I'm going to bring up Dash again. Juan Galt's a big Dash fan, and we were talking about Dash versus Bcash in terms of they might be competing because they both want to serve the small transaction buying coffee type of market. So that's interesting. We talked about how 2x that it failed, and that if the community would have accepted 2x, which it never would have, if Bitcoin would have become 2x, there'd be no Bitcoin anymore. Everything would have exploded. Cryptocurrency would be dead. That's why you can't just have a lone wolf writing everything. It's a team effort. It's peer review. It's the smartest people out there, and it's not rushing into things. Don't be impulsive. Pound that like button, people. If you like late night, and probably if you're in Hawaii, it's just the evening. You're sitting by the beach enjoying this. There are a lot of people from Hawaii who watch this, especially at these times. And it's beautiful in Honolulu. I enjoyed my time there in, what was it, February 2015. February 2015 it was. All right, yes, before I went to South Africa. And I will be back in South Africa hopefully in March. And yeah, I'll be in South Korea. We'll talk. Yeah, I got to start talking about that. December the 5th, I'll be in Seoul meeting up with all of you. We'll talk about that. Today, how can I forget? Today at 7 p.m. in Sheva, I'm going to be Sunday at 7 p.m. in Sheva. I'll be hanging out at the bar, the meetup with the Bitcoin people here in Sheva, Israel. I'll give the name of that place because I can't see where I have it written down right now. Oh, God. All right. Oh, yeah, and so Eric Voorhees, he's the guy behind Shapeshift. He sort of apologized over Reddit. I give a link to a Reddit that describes the 2x. I don't know if he apologized in that thread or not. Oh, well. Also, something that we learned yesterday from Juan Galt about Bcash. He's familiar with these anarchist, the people down in Mexico. Now, I'm not down with all those people down there, especially one guy who really is now outspoken about Bcash. But Juan says there's a lot of these anarchists, these libertarians who just they're so used to being the underdog and not getting their way that they want to be part of something that's an underdog. So a few of them, besides the one lunatic who is pumping up Bcash, there's some other innocent bystanders in this that just want to be behind an underdog, something they think is an underdog. But how can you call Bcash an underdog when, there's billionaires behind it? At least one crypto billionaire. He's close. King of the Trolls is close to being a crypto billionaire. And that's good for him. He made some good investments in his day. I'm not ripping him, try to be as rich as possible. but they're not exactly under. I mean, they're clearly an altcoin. So if you look at it on that level, I guess they're an underdog, but they're far from an underdog. There's some people that would be described as villain. I mean, his Rocket Man Wu is as close to a Bitcoin villain as you can get. And, you know, he's doing his business. That's his thing. I'm not blaming anyone. They're free to do anything they want to do over in the Bcash land. We'll just carry on. And the best thing we can do here, you know, people are like, we got to go to war with them, blah, 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 blah. Just call it Bcash. That's the best thing you can do. Trust me. You can say that's your little war against them if you want to. Just calling it Bcash, making sure everyone does it, understands what is Bitcoin, what is an altcoin. That's all. That's all you can do. It's great. There's your little thing you did in the war. If you want to call it a war, it's not a war. And you better things to spend your time on. And I've just spent too much time on this. So Bcash, it takes like 0.1 seconds to it's only a waste of 0.1 seconds. Or something, milliseconds. Okay. Anarchist, I talk about this. Oh yeah, there is a guy out there, and I hope I put this in the notes section below. Who you should retweet this guy. He's asking the exchanges to list Bclash, otherwise known as Bclashic. I'm not even going to get into that. So retweet that if you can. There's a Bclash Explorer now. Again, the next step is just getting an exchange to list it. So that's why you want to retweet that tweet by Chart Piker. I hope it's listed below. Once I get done this video, I'll make sure Chart Piker's tweet is below, and you'll easily be able to retweet it. That's the best thing you can do after you watch this show. You always learn something from your show, but there are action items sometimes after this show too. So that's a very important action item to retweet this. So we got to get this Bclash out there. The more competition, the better. The more, and hey, we want the Bcash people to have their own friendly fork also. And there's a lot of Bitcoin people who happen to have Bcash that would like to dump their Bclash or their Bcash. Or I don't know. so many things out there. And we're going to get to these other forks that are out there, these other crypto dividends that are out there. You know, this channel, home of the crypto dividend. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Some people are over in Twitter land are kind of dissing crypto dividends, and then there are people who follow me who are like, "What? Why? What's wrong? Free money, buy and hold." Well, buy and hold Bitcoin. Don't buy the crypto dividends. Woo! Just you can hold them if you want to, guys. But at the end of the day, value your wealth in Bitcoin. Try to get as much Bitcoin as possible. And yeah, and don't cry if you only got 10%. Only got 10%. 10% on your money is incredible. If you like complain about getting 10%, other people are gonna. You don't understand money. You don't understand how the world works. If you complain about getting 10% on your free money, I mean, it's amazing. It's just amazing. So you've got something to learn in life if you complain about 10%. People out there, their grandmothers out there on their savings, you know, they don't know about cryptocurrency. They get what, 0.1% every year, and they have to live on that. All right. And maybe some Social Security too, or whatever. 90-year-old women out there have bank accounts paying them 0.1. So, you know, they would 10%, they'd have a heart attack and die, I guess. All right. So what do we got here? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, something I wanted to read. And I read this. Oh yeah, the Bclash Explorer is satoshistruevision.com. Link to below. Funny stuff. SegWit 2x failure will be a good test of journalists covering Bitcoin. Looking at you, Laura Shin, and the journalist who presented the S2X farce as if it was a serious threat. Find better clickbait, please, and thank you. Yeah, I mean, these Laura Shin types with their clickbait. We discussed this on This Week in Bitcoin. You can watch it a little bit. But are they going to learn from this situation where, like, stop blowing these things out of proportion and trying to make the players legitimate? I mean, it was so the people behind you can say I'm trying to be impartial, but 2x was painted in a way in a light of legitimacy by people like Laura Shin, it was just ridiculous. And Laura Shin is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I guess I'm talking like Sean Connery now. Too much Bclash on me. You know, Tone Base had a great thing. Al, she had this ICO article. You know, and I should have, you know, just making these ICOs seem so investor worthy, and that's not. You got to be careful with those things, man. And perhaps she just doesn't understand it. I bet she doesn't understand this kind of stuff. I mean, I think she's out there in the San Francisco crowd. She's got to be politically correct, got to fit in, you know, go with the flow type of person. You know, this is the old school thing we don't have to deal with anymore. You know, and I can say such things without, you know, getting worried. You know, you can't, you know, and if you work for a big company out there, a real company, if you don't work for yourself like I do, you can't say things on YouTube about like Laura Shin like that. You know, you got to get, oh, she's a very smart person. Yes, Forbes, very important. You know, she didn't just get her job because she has completely no qualifications and they want to be diversified or whatever. I mean, it's just, no, she's very well qualified to cover crypto. She's been in it since 2015 or something like that. Very experienced, very knowledgeable, very good with money, no doubt. You know, talking about ICOs. You know, you have to say very good things if you've got a job. But me, I could say that she's just, you know, complete. What a nonsense. What nonsense. Forbes and Laura Shin. She is like the poster child. She is the Mickey Mouse of the mainstream media. That she's a little character, Laura Shin. Somebody draw a little cartoon Laura Shin pumping ICOs and saying 2x is the biggest thing ever to happen in Bitcoin. It could change everything. What nonsense. Just what, you know, just adding FUD, but not even knowing that she's adding FUD. Just typical. Typical. It's just like, you know, her little website, you know, her little frivy bows and pretty pictures website. All right. Okay. So Vice actually came out with the article also. About Bclash. So I mean, Vice can be a total joke too. Someone's like, that's a liberal rag. Okay, yeah, they can be. But the point is that a lot of people do read it and they come up with, they wrote about Bclash and it was funny. And for like a crypto dividend like that to all of a sudden get in like a semi-mainstream, semi-legitimate news publication online that a lot of people are reading, that's interesting. Maybe Laura will write about it too over at Forbes. No, I mean, I don't think she knows what a crypto dividend even is. She probably doesn't understand what that is. You know, she's telling her, but she wants to tell us about her buddy's ICOs in San Francisco or whatever. All right, yeah, and so also go over to the Bcash Reddit, and it's an eye opener over at the Bcash Reddit. They are really into Bcash. They're buying it up. During this mini pump that we just had, and I'll talk about the mini pump in a second. But it's an eye-opening experience, and just go over there. You learn. I'm learning. All right. So my buddy, who told me about Dash? You know, I forgot his name. Dude, the guy who just emailed me about Dash is down in Venezuela. They just had an event in Venezuela. And I will get to exactly what he said in a second because I wrote all this up and it's not organized at all what I'm reading off of here. But we'll get to that in a second. Okay, there are sites out there that have now tried to organize the crypto dividends so you can stay, you know, what's the latest in crypto dividend news. And I linked to it before, cryptomon.co. I'm not going to read out the whole thing. And there's a Reddit about the Bitcoin airdrops Reddit. Even though most crypto dividends, well, the forks are not airdrops. We can get into the difference between that later. A fork is not an airdrop. An airdrop is not a fork. There you go. That's a better way of saying it. And I wonder, these new Bitcoin crypto dividends, what state would these new ones would you know, Bgold is Delaware. Would these other ones be Pennsylvania? You know, whatever the second and third states were. I think Pennsylvania was the second state. I don't know. Or should we do another comparison where they're going to be larger, or since they're weirder, since they're a little bit different? Now, weirder is the wrong word, but some of these are going to be totally different. They'll be like Utah. That's a very interesting state. So we'll have to see what these new crypto dividends, what state they are in the United States of Bitcoin, or if they are really friendly forks or not. If they like well, no, okay, I'm spoiling what I'm about to talk about. I think on one of their pages they said, "Oh, we're not here to hurt Bitcoin," so they would be part of the United States of Bitcoin. They like Bitcoin. All right, so going back to the Venezuela dash, and I think it was Jamie who sent me this. Oh God, I hope it was. Sorry, dude, if I'm butchering everything. I wrote this down the other day. Today is the Dash conference in Venezuela, and they are giving away $10 in Dash if you have the wallet installed on your phone. No wonder where all the instant mining of the early days are for. Marketing. Okay, that's his little joke there. Somebody said Bitcoin has a lot to learn from Dash. I almost threw up my lunch. Well, thank you for sharing that. But dude, hey, it pumps up the price of Dash. You might not like marketing, but they're good at marketing, and they're down in Venezuela of all places. So they clearly have a big marketing budget because it's not cheap to go down there now. You got to be careful when you're down there. So thank you for sharing that. Pound that like button, everyone. These sites, some of these new crypto dividend sites, one disturbing aspect of them, and maybe they just like how the site, they all look the same. I mean, they have the same HTML format or whatever it is. You scroll down and then you open up a certain thing a certain way. They really look very similar. We're going to get to that in a second, though. All right. Oh, yeah. So the people at the Bitcoin 2M, I've linked to them before. He's very aggressive. He's very proactive. He tries to stay in touch with me. He's tweeting at me. They're going to take over the 2X mantra, the 2X mantra. I don't know what I'm saying. They're taking over to 2X. All right. Although, so they're making a 2M version of Bitcoin, but it's a friendly fork. He's in Japan, it appears, this 2M guy. So we'll keep an eye on the 2M. Again, there is a site now that lists all of them. But they don't list Bitcoin Diamond yet. We'll call that Bdiamond for now on. But we're going to get to that in a second. So again, I forgot to say about Bclash. I think I said, maybe this is the third time. I've said it on other shows, but I want to repeat it. That Bclash is like Dogecoin. It really is like Dogecoin to the 10th power in terms of being this joke meme. But people are taking it very seriously. And in the crypto world, jokes can become real cryptocurrencies, real altcoins. Look at Dogecoin. Look at Dogecoin as an example. This is the Dogecoin of 2018. God, keep on coming up with marketing sayings. That is what my brain is wired for, is just to keep coming up with marketing sayings. I mean, I don't know how, look into the genetics of the Meisters or the other sides of my families, how our brains got wired this way. I do have some siblings also. I'm not going to say how many or what. They're good with marketing too. They got into that kind of thing also. Our brains are wired. I mean, who knows if Adam is the best marketer of the Meisters. For certain things I am. They're very smart also. My siblings, very smart people. And I've got a second cousin out there who's a big time. Anyway, I'm not even going to say because people are going to try to stalk. In terms of Meisters, if you look up the name Meister on the internet, you will not find a Meister that's related to me. There's so few that are actually have the name Meister that are related to me. I do have a second cousin who I bring this up because if you found him, he's a big time lawyer. So if you stalked him, you would become destroyed. I mean, this guy's the genius of our family, and he's a huge lawyer out there. Why have I people like to hear a little bit of personal stuff late at night. But yeah, if you want to go stalk that Meister, be my guest. He will sue you to oblivion. Probably, I would not want to do that. And again, he's smarter than I am. But he's not into the same, and this is when you learn about how people's brains are wired. I mean, he has done research. I mean, he went to Harvard Law, obviously, not obviously, but okay, now you're gonna be able to find him. Crap. So no, he's into obviously he's done research, biological research. I mean, all these things. I could never do that kind of thing. But on a certain level, he's not into Bitcoin. He's not a marketer actually. So, and maybe people are going to say, "Well, you see, marketing is for the simple-minded." Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just a simple-minded guy. You got to poke fun at yourself sometimes. All right. So thanks, Adam, for your great videos. I started out in 2015 using local Bitcoins in Ireland, had no knowledge, started cloud mining and lost 400 euro on cloud mining scam. Then I found your videos in July 2016, set my target for 10 Bitcoin and achieved this in March 2017. Awesome, dude. Now I'm strong hand and hold. Thanks for all your great advice. Later, I found out my older brother had been in email contact with Simon Dixon since 2014. He is now a millionaire, saying his brother is now a millionaire. So Simon Dixon gives better advice than I do, I guess. I still love the guy, his brother. Oh, say, look, we're talking about siblings. And now this guy, I'm quoting some guy talking about his sibling. Bitcoin forever. All right, thank you. Thank you. There's something I was going to say about my second cousin. Now I totally forgot. He's from Baltimore originally also. You know, and it's and yeah, and that's the thing. Just because somebody, you know, someone in your family being like, if you've got a second cousin that's a genius, it absolutely means nothing for your own how smart you are or what you can do. He probably got that from not from the Meister side. Who knows? The Meisters are smart. Totally rambling on. The Meister's got this weird creativity. There you go. That dude's got some this odd creativity that some of us have on the Meister side. And I do have an odd creativity. I'll give you guys that. You know, with the hair. This dude, my second cousin, when he was why am I even talking about this? He had a blue mohawk when he was in you know, people think my hair is crazy. He had a blue mohawk when he was in like middle school or high school or something like that. You know, pound that like button if you know who I'm talking about. I think there's no one from Baltimore that's watching this now anyway. Yeah, you know, it's very hard. What we've learned from Bclash, what a show this is becoming, my God. First of all, Block Digest is a channel. I linked to it below. They had a very good video out there. Why did I just skip a bunch of things here? This thing is so not organized today, my God. We'll get back to that. Okay, let's get the Block Digest in a second. I wanted to say, you can tell when a Bcash unnatural, you probably can tell a Bcash unnatural surge is going on. This is just a theory of mine. If you see it trading at, you know, around 4 billion in trade volume, and if it's like right up there with Bitcoin's 4 billion, and there's a bit thumb surge. All those things, and if it's a weekend, that's what's been going on lately. And it just comes out of the blue. And then you see the price go up to 0.16 of a Bitcoin, which it did. But they weren't able to sustain it, and we'll get to why they weren't able to sustain this. Or maybe it was natural this weekend. I doubt. I bet there was a whale fueling some of it. Maybe not, but it was. You know, look for those telltale. Those are signs that you should. You know, maybe if you're still a holder of Bcash, that hey, it's about to go up a lot. If you start to see those things happening, that, you know, and something is about to happen, and some whale is going to even dump more, and it'll get back to 0.2. If you really want to get your 0.2 instead of your 0.1. All right, so Block Digest. Block Digest out there makes an interesting point, and I linked to them below around the 32-minute mark that I linked in the video that I linked to below. They mentioned what happens when you leave something behind in this space, and it is a very awesome point. Talking about the Bcash people thought they left the old chain behind, but they didn't. And you can't abandon anything. It's if you think something's abandoned in the cryptocurrency space, don't think, I mean, you didn't learn your lesson from the Ethereum Classic thing. It's hard to abandon something. Something can pick up, anyone can pick up something that you left behind. So be careful what you leave behind. It's just like when you go camping, leave it cleaner than you found it, right? They didn't do that. They left something behind. Also at the 52-minute mark, they talk about Tether. I talked about Tether. You know, they're not too worried. He's not too, the guy ripped on the Bitfinex guy, that the Bitfinex guy is a bitter person who wants Bitcoin to go down. I don't know. Again, I'm looking at the Tether thing, and if it implodes, as Crypto-Graffiti pointed out on the show yesterday, and Tone Vase pointed out on their show the Bitcoin Group show on the World Crypto Network, which you should check out. You know, I'm affiliated with the World Crypto Network. Check out below the link to their podcast that I'm on every day. This is in podcast form. Maybe you're listening to it now also. But both Crypto Medici, might have said Crypto Graffiti. Remember to get his shirts below. Get your Trezor wallet also, but Trezor below at cryptohwwallet.com. Check out Andy Hoffman, Crypto Gold Central. I'm just plugging away at everything here. No, but they pointed out that if Tether fails, if it implodes, everyone's going to run into Bitcoin from Tether because it'll be worthless, and they'll want to trade their soon to be very worthless Tether for something that has value, and they won't be able to get dollars for it at that because they'll be on exchanges that don't have dollars. So it's not going to bring down all the cryptocurrency if it implodes, and I don't even know if it is going to implode or not. It's something not to worry about now, people. If you're a long-term holder, at least, what's the big deal? And you know what? Okay, so let's say worst case scenario, everything crashes because of Tether. Okay, and that's not going to happen. It will come back. Everything will fix itself again. Everything will recover. We'll learn our lesson. Bitcoin will still be Bitcoin. It has nothing. Bitcoin, none of the aspects that make Bitcoin great, none of its qualities will have changed because of this Tether thing. So if you're a long-term holder, it doesn't make a difference. So don't worry. People have asked me about this Tether. The guys over at Block Digest, who are some smart guys, by the way, are not worried at all. I know Ansel Lindner is not worried at all. I'm not worried at all. Tone worries about everything. So what can I say? But he did bring up the point that people it might hurt your altcoins. I don't know. But you know what? Again, if Litecoin drops, Litecoin is still Litecoin. So maybe it was pumped up some by Tether. I think it would recover too if it crashed. I don't. You know, there's so many people. So when someone does an over-the-counter, when someone's buying Bitcoin over-the-counter, buys like $1 million worth of Bitcoin, that has a huge effect on Bitcoin. Okay, that person, it has nothing to do with Tether or anything like that. Tether only plays a role in these quick flips on exchanges and going between crazy altcoins. I mean, perhaps it maybe all the fifth tier altcoins will disappear. So what? So what? I mean, okay, now I've talked way too much about this. I've talked too much about second cousins. I've talked too much about blue mohawks and Tether. Pound that like button. Oh, God. All right. I talked about Laura Shin. You know, joke, Laura Shin. All right. So Satoshi Soundbites is a dude who's taken sound bites from some of the, some good videos out from my videos, from World Crypto Network, from the Block Digest people, and he makes these summaries of the day. So instead of hearing me ramble on about Laura Shin and blue mohawks, he gets straight to the point of the high points of everybody's videos, and he puts them all together. It's Satoshi Soundbites. I linked to it below. I didn't label it yet below because I was in a rush to make this. I got so much to do. It's so early in the morning. It's crazy doing this stuff out here. I'm looking forward to being back in North America for a week and doing things at a normal time. All right, and yes, on the Bitcoin show, the Bitcoin Group show, Tone Bays did point out that King of the Trolls and his crew probably knew in advance that SegWit2x was not going to happen. And so they were able to plan an entire pump around this semi-exclusive information that that the whole market did not know about yet. There were rumors, of course, and I had heard different things about how different entities were going to handle it, and I knew it wasn't going to be successful. I didn't know they weren't going to try it. I knew it wasn't going to be successful. I'm not going to get into that reason. There's no point in sharing it now, but I didn't have inside information like 2x is not going to happen. So Tone theorizes that, hey, they knew it was not going to happen. And so they had it all planned out, from spamming the Bitcoin network, it was slowing everything, to selling Bitcoin for Bcash, to media appearances. It was very well planned out. The current pump that I just explained beforehand, that's what pumped it up to 0.16 this weekend. it has some planned aspects to it. It doesn't have media appearances, but there were spamming of the Bitcoin network. There obviously whales selling, but there was no event to build around. There was no event that they knew about in advance to build around. So what I'm trying to, why I even bring all this up again, is that eventually the guys over at Bcash who are whales, and they can do this if they want to, they're going to know about something, some event that is going to be FUD worthy for Bitcoin, or they can be twisted around, and they're going to know about the event before it happens. So they'll be able to plan, again, something just as well planned out as that. And so just be ready. Be ready for the next time. I say this just so you have a strong Bitcoin hand. The next time you see the Bcash pump up to 0.25 or whatever they're going to be able to work it to next time, and it'll be around an event that'll be semi-scary for Bitcoin. Maybe what's going to happen, let's just say it theoretically, they know Tether is going to go down. They know they know something that we don't know. I'm not saying that, but I'm just giving this as an example. And so that they'll have it planned out for when Tether goes. The second Tether goes down, they'll release everything. They'll start spamming the network. They'll start selling their Bitcoin, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Laura, now's the time to interview us, please." Yeah, we're going to talk about this. So it'll be perfect. So just be ready. You got to be careful. Again, the best thing to be is just some like 35-year-old dude who just is a long-term, who doesn't follow any of this, doesn't watch anything, doesn't know what Tether is, doesn't know what anything is, and just goes about his business and his life and doesn't check, doesn't follow this stuff, as close as I do. So if you're going to follow things closely, and it is fun to follow things closely because you do learn so much about the space, and a lot of you out there who are watching this now try to follow this very close and like drama. You shouldn't like drama, but you should be prepared for Bcash pumps. That's all. Nothing wrong. They can pump their altcoin. That's great. I don't like that people are spamming the Bitcoin to make the Bitcoin network slower. That's not cool. That's not a good thing to do, or increase transaction fee. I mean, that's not a good thing to do, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And that's why we don't call them by their names. If people are gonna do things that aren't very respectful, we're not gonna respect them. And we call them out and we boycott their businesses. So yeah, don't buy coffee. What else do we have? Be very careful with, okay, so when these crypto, and I still haven't gotten to the crypto dividends yet. Wow, I can just talk up a storm, can't I here? All right, I don't like that these shows have become long either, man. I don't like it either. People do, and like the longer I talk, the more people watch this. It's the middle of the night back home. And there's 130 of you watching, so thank you. Pound that like button. And those in Europe, you're waking up right now, or maybe no, they're not even waking up. Maybe there are a bunch of people in Australia watching this. What's up, Australia? Perth, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne. All right, so yeah, be careful when you start to mess around with your latest crypto dividend. I recommend everyone set up an account at btc.com or blockchain.info, or have a paper wallet where you send $1 to. You send $1 worth of Bitcoin to this new account that you create, okay? And you just leave that $1 of Bitcoin there forever. So then you'll have a recovery seed, a recovery phrase, you'll have a private key, and you can mess around with those at these claimage sites that are recommend. Now, I don't say go to any claim site, okay, to get your crypto dividend. I say to only go to ones that people say work, that are approved by the people putting on the crypto dividend, that other people have said are good. So, and then once you think you've got a legitimate place to go because others are saying it, because, and I just don't mean some random dude, I mean people and legitimate sources out there. Again, if it's linked to from the page. So some people are going to say, well, Bgold linked to a wallet provider that was bad. And that is why I bring this up. Now, I don't know the whole story yet, but what you would do then instead of giving you, and again, there's got to be better ways of claiming. The best thing I can say is just be patient. be patient until you don't have to use your private key or your recovery seed to get your crypto dividend. But if you are impatient, if you want to mess around, use your account that has $1 in it to mess around with first. Use your private key there and see what happens if your $1 gets stolen. Okay, there you go. So this is like what I'm recommending, and it'll give you experience with private keys, and it is a good experience, I guess, to learn what the private key looks like, what the recovery seed looks like, how to input it somewhere, and then once you do that with your $1, then you're on your own on what you're going to do. I would never give up my private. Then what you would do. Okay, then you would move your Bitcoin off of where it originally was at, your real stash of Bitcoin. You would then move off of its original address to a new private key, to a new recovery seed, and then use that old one to claim if you want to do that. Or just wait till the Trezor makes it easy. Or wait till there is an organization out there that makes it easy for anyone to get their crypto dividend, any crypto dividend. We need a player like that in this space. Look at the opportunity. Be cryptodividendcentral.com, where you give all the information about crypto dividends and you help people, you actually get everybody through the recovery process, or you create a device like a Trezor that does that for people. Okay, so there's an entrepreneurial opportunity. I have spoken about it before. So now finally we get to Bdiamond. Bitcoin Diamond, they call it. We're going to call it Bdiamond for now on. Clearly, this is it might be out of Singapore, it looks like. I linked to it below. BTCD.io. They say they're going to fork it very soon, actually. What is the block number? I didn't write it down. Go to their site. They tell you everything, but it's going to be in November. They're going to be, and they're going to give you 10. Now, I don't understand how this fully works, because I thought when you forked, it's naturally a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, and if you did an airdrop, you could do any ratio. All right, but they're saying you're going to get 10, and I'm not a technical guy here. You're going to get 10 Bdiamonds for every Bitcoin you had before whatever date it is. It's coming up real soon. If it has that block number is coming up very soon. You're gonna get 10 of theirs for every 1 Bitcoin you have. So they're gonna end up with 210 million. There were some other iffy things on their site. One thing that was very interesting, they list wallet providers already or exchanges already for their Bdiamond, and they link to an exchange in China. It looks like it's in a script. I can't decipher it. It's not in English, where they are selling Bdiamond futures right now. It's a futures market for Bdiamond. I clicked on it. It's legitimate, and they're selling it for around $30-some. I forgot what that was in Bitcoin, but remember, it's a 10-to-1 ratio. So for every Bitcoin you have, you're gonna get 10 of these things. So really, you're getting for every Bitcoin you have, you get $300 if this maintains. Now, I'm not saying, this could be a completely fake site that got set up too. Again, I'm not familiar with this exchange, exx.com. Maybe it's just a complete nonsense, but I'm putting it out there. Be very careful with this, obviously, but you got to know about it. I linked to the Reddit where they announce it. I linked to their Twitter. Again, they say they have replay protection. So yeah, I believe they're the ones who said they want to be a friend. So they want to be in the United States of Bitcoin there. Who are they? Utah? Are they Pennsylvania? Are they Montana? You tell me. Pound that like button. Remember, email me at adam@trezorhelp.com. You need a crypto consultation, help setting up your Trezor. You want help getting you through FUD situations, we'll set up a paid consultation. Adam@trezorhelp.com. I really have people been emailing me. I'm behind on a lot of things because I don't have free time to do free things. You get my attention when you send. That's how the world works. You pay for stuff. this is free. These videos are free, and I give out so much information here. And it is frustrating when people ask you something that you just talked about on the show yesterday. So, I mean, if I give you a little short response, like watch the show, just understand, you know, I get so many emails. So I'm not trying to be mean to you or anything. I'm just telling you it's out there already for free, and I cannot waste my time. But yeah. So yeah, if you want my attention now, do the super chat. I'll answer your questions. Bitcoin Magazine. I think Aaron Von Weerdum has the article. And here, someone just sent a super chat about how to claim your Bgold. He has an article about it. $5, 10 cents for every thumbs up. Pound that like button. Thank you, GBT. Thank you, GBT. Where are you located right now, GBT? If you're sending me US dollars, you're awake late, dude. All right. So I forgot to say who's been telling me. So supersmartbitcoin.com is Super Bitcoin. So we'll just call that Super BTC from now on. There's a guy in Italy named Danielle who has sent me the information. He is my source who sent me the Super BTC information and the Bdiamond information. So clap. Thank you, Danielle in Italy. I don't know if you're watching this right now or not. Thank you so much. And if people have tips like this, you know, email me at adam@tresorhelp.com. That if you got a tip, or send me a DM. There's a guy who sends me a lot of direct messages, and I could be very quick with him too. Because I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to you, dude, but you send me a lot of information, which is great, and it's great. But sometimes it's information I've already talked about, or it's like it's information that isn't that pertinent. But you know, whatever, try your best. I don't want to be rude to anyone out there. Sometimes it sounds like I'm being rude. I gotta be quick. And speaking about being quick, this show isn't very quick. I wish this show was fast. I wish this show was shorter. It's been 40 minutes. It's too long. It's way too long. All right, so Super Bitcoin, that's going to be in December 17th. And what Super Bitcoin wants to be is everything. They're going to be privacy like Zcash. They're going to have smart contracts like Ethereum. Will this really happen or not? I don't know. It's those two that I just mentioned have progressed more. And again, their web pages are all set up in similar ways. It's so funny. Maybe that's not too funny in the long run. But it's different than that B+. You know, B+ only sent out some tweets. That was it. It was over. And by the way, I see Russell Spears in there right now. And he loves this type of thing. He has the Bitcoin Hydra thesis. You go over to Russell Spears. You find him on YouTube. You watch his videos. I haven't watched his latest one yet. He understands what these crypto dividends are about. He definitely understands it. So I wanted to give Russell a shout out. I haven't had time to watch your latest video yet, but I'm telling people now to find Russell Spears and watch his latest videos. He's in the chat right now. Always good to see him around. And he's got some interesting philosophies that go beyond Bitcoin too, that kind of cross over to some of mine also. We're not exactly, you know, everyone's a little different. I'm sure he's not a big fan of Laura Shin. All right, so because Russell is smart. All right, again, there's going to be super smart Bitcoin or whatever, Super BTC. They took some Bgold aspects to it also. They're trying to be friendly forks. Okay, there is this. I've been meaning to bring this up for a while. There's an airdrop out there that is sort of like the Bitcore airdrop, but it involves you having an Ethereum address at the end. This is something I would, you know, and right now you're going to end up with a token that isn't worth anything yet. But it seems like these guys are going to try to build up some value. They've got a long-term plan. It's called Tether, BYTETHER. It's got an unfortunate name because it has nothing to do with Tether. He's trying to combine Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I linked to some stuff about what this person or these people are trying to do. Again, the claiming process was like the original airdrop for Bitcore, where you have to, well, you just check it out. If you did the original airdrop for Bitcore, you check out this Tether, and you'll get some tokens on your. I haven't done it yet on your. If you have Ethereum, you'll give them an Ethereum address. You're going to end up with some Ethereum tokens from. It is, if you're a long-term person, or a medium-term person, this might turn into some value for you, like in 2018. Worst comes to worst, it turns into nothing for you. And I've been meaning to bring this up for over a week. I think I've known about this thing. But hey, the show's gone on for so long. Why not add this at the end? Again, they have a roadmap. And I'll say this. Going back with Super BTC, there is a big Chinese, very wealthy dude behind it. So that's interesting. And I don't know where I have that written down here that I was supposed to read. All right, so Chris Bernsyke or whatever his name, Bernsky, I'm butchering his name. He has an interesting tweet out there. Crypto folk spend all day lost in system that most people have no clue even exist yet. That is so true, man. The people who are in cryptocurrency are deep down into this cryptocurrency ecosystem, and most people don't even know it exists. But people will know, and it's the people who are deep into the cryptocurrency ecosystem, we've got a big advantage over the people who are going to come into this thing soon enough. And hey, man, it's great. It's great. Also, Ben Shapiro had again, sometimes when I'm cooking my food, I listen to some political stuff because I don't like to waste my time. Well, usually I listen to Bitcoin stuff, but sometimes I'll turn on Ben Shapiro. I like Ben Shapiro. At the 4750 mark in what I linked to, and this pertains to Bitcoin a little bit, he points out, he reminds everyone that this country was not supposed to be a democracy. It is a constitutional republic, which is different. And people are always screaming, we're a democracy. United States is supposed to be we. I'm sorry if I'm confusing people. But anyway, he gives a great John Adams quote. And I actually linked to that John Adams quote too. John Adams was a smart dude. And supposedly his son was the smartest president of all time. How they figured that out, I have no idea. But John Adams' quote is very anti-democracy because he believed in the constitutional republic. He believed in the way America was supposed to be, which it was soon altered. But it's like John Adams and Ben Shapiro, they don't know it, but they're talking about the 80%. It's the 80% who enjoy democracy and don't grasp the beauty of the constitutional republic, and that you cannot have a democracy, that a democracy will degrade eventually, and it is mob rule with a suit on. That is what a true democracy is. It turns into something you don't like, where the 20% might get killed actually. But so there are some subtle 80% illusions that John Adams and Ben Shapiro probably didn't even realize they were alluding to, and so I guess they weren't illusions. But if you can find some deep meaning in them, I believe. So I included links to them below. Naval, he has a tweet out there. People who live far below their means enjoy a freedom that people busy upgrading their lifestyles can't fathom. So yes, I am a minimalist. Everyone knows that. And I'm not saying to be a poor bag man on the street here, but when you're building up, earlier on in your life, try to be as minimalist as possible. So later in your life, you can live a very comfortable life. But again, if you're trying to live extravagant all the time from day one, you don't have freedom. You don't have the freedom that a minimalist person has. So again, people who live far below their means enjoy a freedom that people busy upgrading their lifestyle can't fathom. So yeah, live below your means for as long as you can. It's comfortable to live below your means is very comfortable. Trust me, I live way below my means, and it's great. You enjoy the little things in life, and you have freedom, the time to do. You can do shows at weird hours and have 2 sleeps a night. It's literally, I have 2. I wake up in the middle of the night, then I go back to sleep again. There's a theory that people used to have 2 different sleeps in a night. There were 2 different periods of time they slept. They wake up in the middle of the night, they do some stuff, and then they go back to sleep again. Anyway, what did I say? Okay, now I'm not going to talk about that. All right, I think that's the end of the show. I probably skipped something here. So yeah, Bdiamond, Super BTC, those are the latest kids on the block. Bclash, spread the word about that. And again, we will see once these other forks actually happen, if they ever happen, how safe they are. Because eventually, event, and I pointed this out before, and I will leave on this note. Someone is going to come up with the crypto dividend that is 100% pure scam that will only be just there to steal your information. Okay, eventually that's going to happen. So do your own investigations into the ones that I mentioned. Again, I linked to a site that now links to, you know, what that person has found out to be the latest ones, their latest URLs. The 2M one is they're all intriguing to me. They're all intriguing to me. So I'll keep. And again, it's clear that Asia is going to be the center of this. The Bgold one was really centered in Asia too. They had people all over the world promoting it, but it was an Asian miner, a Chinese miner, that did originate it. And so now others are seeing that he had that success with Bgold. And again, be patient with the Bgold, people. I mean, people haven't even had the time to dump it all yet, if they want to dump it, or even like split it yet. So be patient. Be patient with these things. Do not rush into something that's going to steal your private key or anything. Try to experiment with that $1 thing that I said above. Watch everything again if you missed part of the show. It was informative. There were some ramblings, but hey, that's what you're going to get from an Adam Meister show in the middle of the night in Denver. I'm not in Denver, but it is the middle of the night in Denver. I'm in Beersheba, Israel, and I could not find the name of that place that I'm going to be at later today. I will immediately put it in the notes section below. So if you are in Beersheba, you'll see where I'm going to be at 7 p.m. today for the meetup. So expect more Asian crypto dividends of Bitcoin, maybe some of other coins too. I'm Adam Meister. Pound that like button. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. I'll be back hopefully with an earlier show, so it'll be in less than 24 hours. See you later, people.